Hello and welcome to Daily Current Affairs by Ekam IAS. Today is 7th April 2019 and the topic we are going to discuss is Event Horizon Telescope, Keratinocytes, Gujjars, G20, map-aided program. We are continuing with the Straits of the world and the previous year question revision series. Coming to the first topic, Event Horizon Telescope. This is in news because the first ever picture of a black hole is to be released by the data which is being given out by the Event Horizon Telescope. Okay, so this is an international collaboration. So what they do is they create a virtual Earth-sized telescope. They create a virtual telescope which is of the Earth size, and they use this to capture the image of black hole. Okay. This project is to create a large telescope array. So it has all the network of radio telescopes and all the combining data of the stations around the Earth. That's a very long baseline interferometry stations, VLBI stations around the Earth. Okay, and this technique of linking the radio dishes across the globe to create a Earth-sized interferometer, it has been used to measure the size of emission regions. So how large is the emission region of a black hole? That is why this technique is used. Okay, so this is not a very big news. You have to know Event Horizon Telescope. Event Horizon Telescope is an international collaboration that you have to remember. Okay, not a single agency is owing it. And it has been using all the stations around the Earth, and it is creating a large telescope array of Earth size. Okay. Now coming to the next topic, that is the keratinocytes. Keratinocytes is in news because the researchers at IIT Bombay, they have been able to achieve this increase in the number of skin cells cultured in lab. Okay, they have been using this polymer made hydrogel instead of using plastic tissue culture plates. Okay, so hydrogel method, it will allow for rapid multiplication of cells with certain physiological functions. Okay, that functions will remain intact, at the same time they will multiply. Okay, so hydrogel is used for that. And unlike these traditional methods, no feeder layer or no drug or anything is needed when the cells are grown on hydrogel substrate. So no additional thing is to be added. And comparing with the plastic plates, cell grown on hydrogel have better physiological functions. Okay, and both, it has two functions. Basically, one is wound healing and another thing is the ability to take up viruses. Okay, so it should act as a gene delivery vehicle also. So both these functions are better delivered in hydrogel. And patients with this burn or chronic wounds, they require plenty of skin cells and they need it immediately. So plastic plates are not a very good method. So hydrogels are better performing. So this keratinocytes, they are a cell type. Okay, they are a type of cell in epidermis. Epidermis constitute of 90% of the cells in cells found in the skin. So it is the outermost layer of the skin. Okay, it has three layers. One is hypodermis, then the dermis, then epidermis. Epidermis is the outermost layer. Okay, those keratinocytes found in the basal layer, that is called as basal cells or basal keratinocytes. Okay, and talking about the function of keratinocytes, you can see that it is acting as a environmental, it's a barrier against the environmental damage. Like if there is a pathogenic bacteria attack or a fungi attack or even parasites, virus, even UV radiation, if there is an environmental damage happening to the skin, the keratinocytes, the barrier is formed. Okay, and once the pathogen starts to invade the upper layers of epidermis on the skin, what happens? Keratinocytes can react. What they do? They will produce pro-inflammatory mediators. Okay, this pro-inflammatory mediators will attract leukocytes to the site where pathogen is invading. Okay, so the leukocyte, it is basically a cell, it's a colorless cell which is circulated in the blood and body fluids. So the function of leukocytes is to counteract any foreign substances or diseases coming in contact with the body. Okay, they are also called as white blood cells. Fine. Next topic is Gujjar. Gujjars is in news because first Gujjar woman in Jammu cracks this UPSC civil service exam. That is why it is in news. So Gujjars are they're basically an ethnic group. There's a pastoral agricultural ethnic group. They are based in India, Pakistan and the northeastern part of Afghanistan. So they have their own language called as Gujari. This Gujjars in Jammu and Kashmir and in Himachal Pradesh, they are also categorized as scheduled tribes. Okay. Related information is that there is another group called as Bakarwals. Bakarwal is Sunni Muslim. They are also nomadic tribe. They are based in Pirpanjal and Himalayan mountains, and they are a subgroup of these Gujjars. Okay, mainly shepherds and goat herds. So they are found in entire Kashmir region and in Afghanistan, the Nuristan province of Afghanistan. Okay, that is Gujjars and Bakarwals. The next topic is G20. G20 is in news because so this G20 summit is going to happen. The finance ministers and the central bank governors of the G20 economies. So they are meeting in Washington to discuss main challenges what is happening in the economic world or the world economy. Okay, so this is a group of 20 economies like 19 countries and European Union. Okay, and they seeks to develop this global policies to address most pressing challenges. Okay, this G20 they are formed in G7 summit happened in 1999. So G7 finance ministers and central bank governors way back in 1999 they met in a summit and formed G20 for creating an inclusive body especially dedicated to the purpose of policy making. So it will have a broader representation. Okay, it will be having this capability to address world's financial challenges. G20 plays a significant role in building this consensus in political level because especially in the case of financial crisis, and they help in achieving this financial stability. Okay, and G20 members they are from all the continent, like 85% of the global economic output is there in G20, and 2/3 of the world population belongs to G20 countries, and 75% of the internal trade is also from G20 country. And this year Japan will be hosting in 2019, and the next year Saudi Arabia is hosting. The first summit was in United States in 2008. Okay, next is map aided program. We are continuing with the straits of the world. The first strait we are going to discuss is Bering Strait. It's a very famous strait. So it joins the Bering Sea and the Chukchi Sea. So the location is Russia, Alaska. Alaska is in US and Russia. It connects US and Russia. And Bering Strait is the only marine gateway between the icy Arctic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. Okay, and it at its narrowest point, the narrowest point of Bering Strait is only 55 miles wide. Okay, so this is Bering Strait. Fine. It connects Chukchi Sea and Bering Sea. Next is Bass Strait. Bass Strait joins Tasman Sea and South Sea, that is in Australia. Okay, the eastern limits of the Bass Strait is a Great Australian Bight, and the western limit is the Tasman Sea, that is between the Gabo Island and the Eddystone Point. I have not marked Gabo Island and Eddystone Point. Okay, better please check it in the map or Google it. Okay, next is the previous year question revision series. I'll read the question. An increase in the bank rate generally indicates that market of interest is likely to fall. The central bank is no longer making loans to the commercial banks. The central bank is following an easy money policy. The central bank is following a tight money policy. Okay. So, what is the bank rate? Bank rate, it refers to, it's an official interest rate of RBI at which they will provide loan to commercial bank or cooperative bank. Okay. Such loans are given out either by direct lending or by buying back the bills of commercial bank. That is called as rediscounting. Okay, of the bills of commercial bank or the treasury bills. Okay, the bank rate is it is also called as discount rate, and it is a signal used by RBI to the commercial bank saying that what I am thinking about the interest rate, what should be the interest rate now, that I will decide. That is the RBI's bank rate. Okay, so that is how the RBI decides a bank rate. So they'll think about what the interest rate should be and they'll decide it. And what happens when they have a change in this bank rate is when RBI increases the bank rate, the cost of borrowing for the banks, it will rise, and this then the credit volume what the bank will get will reduce. So what happens is there will be a decline in the supply of money, and thus the increase in bank rate, it will reflect tightening of RBI monetary policy. That means tight money policy. And what is the difference between a bank rate and a repo rate? Bank rate and repo rate, this seems similar terms because both of them are decided by RBI to lend to the banks. So both are like similar terms. However, repo rate, it's a short-term measure. It refers to short-term loans and used for controlling the amount of money in the market. But on the other hand, talking about bank rate, it's a long-term measure. It is governed by long-term monetary policies of RBI. So, coming back to the question, the answer will be D. Central bank is following a tight money policy. Whenever there is an increase in bank rate, remember this. Whenever there is an increase in the bank rate, what happens? First, what happens? The cost of borrowing will increase, the credit volume will decrease, there will be a decline in the supply of money, and this reflects tight money policy. Okay. So that's all for today, guys. I hope you all enjoy the session, and if you have any doubts, please mention it in the comment section. Thank you so much. Good night.